The Animal Crossing series was one of my favorites back when I was a kid. Just catching up with villagers, fishing, hoping the ugly villager already moved out of my town. It was honestly part of my daily routine. By the time the Nintendo Switch finally came out in 2017, I was completely burned out from playing Animal Crossing New Leaf. Well, for my 30th save file then. And when finally a new Animal Crossing game got announced, I was just so freaking hyped. Not knowing this game would literally be my whole personality for a whole 3 months. And a little more. As the release of Animal Crossing New Horizons got closer, I only really could think back to my first and favorite moments with the series. And that's when a certain game I absolutely loved as a kid kicked in. That being Animal Crossing Amiibo Festival. Whoa. This game was ass. No, I'm talking about Animal Crossing Happy Home Designer for the 3DS. This game came out in 2015 and I can remember I was obsessed with this game when it came out. And although it isn't perfect, I really wanted to revisit the game. Not only because it has been legit 11 years, or because of the Happy Home Paradise DLC we've got, but mainly because I think it's quite underrated for the impact it left on the series. And also, it was collecting dust for over 10 years, so I just needed to give it another shot. I'd like to think that Animal Crossing Happy Home Designer was the first spin-off game in the Animal Crossing series. But sadly, that title belongs to the lesser-known Animal Crossing Plaza. I don't know if you even can call it a game, but it was basically just a sort of Miiverse for New Leaf players for the Wii U, which was already kind of strange, since Animal Crossing New Leaf was a 3DS game and not a Wii U game. I myself have vividly heard of Animal Crossing Plaza before, but never actually played it, which isn't really that surprising since it literally got discontinued a year later. Animal Crossing Happy Home Designer is, you guessed it, a designing game. You work at Nook's homes and your job is to decorate houses for villagers to their dreams. At first you were locked to only design the interior, but later in the game you also could pick the location and design the exterior for the villagers. Which was kind of a big deal back then, because the closest we got to designing outside of your own house were the public projects in New Leaf. Besides that, you only could place flowers and freaking plant trees. So this felt really refreshing and new. Also, this game got released after New Leaf, so they were on a crazy good streak at the time. Until 2 months later, this game got released. Okay, I really need to stop hating on this game. Animal Crossing Happy Home Designer also introduced one of my favorite special villagers in the entire series, being Lottie. She's your assistant and helps you with every designing job. I can remember when we got the news of the Happy Home Paradise DLC for New Horizons, and I was watching that direct and saw Lottie, I almost shit in my pants. I just can remember that I was absolutely in love with this game. And besides the fact that it can become really repetitive to design non-stop, I absolutely had a blast with this game. And that is mainly thanks to the designing portion of this game. The designing portion of this game has to be where the game truly shines. I mean, it was the least we could expect for a designing game, but in this game you get to decorate either a villager's house or a public building each day. For each task you get new furniture, which is awesome because you will get more and more freedom the more you progress through the game. When I was playing this game again, I remember why I got burned out as a kid. This game just gets quite repetitive fast. All you're doing is designing, which is the goal of the game of course, but if you just do 1 or 2 houses or a couple of public buildings per session, it's actually really relaxing, and believe me, it's also better for your sanity. The furniture selection is freaking huge in this game. Most of the items are from Animal Crossing New Leaf, but there are also some different furniture items they added in this game, like ceiling items, and honestly, the options for designing were endless in this game. The furniture may be good and all in this game, but it was for example just a drag to search a specific item if you have so many items at one point. There was no search option and you needed to remember which category the item was under, which, spoiler alert, I didn't remember. But besides that, decorating felt great in this game. Using the stylus to move, rotate and place furniture is way faster than in the other games, where you have to walk to every single item. It made designing a lot more smooth, and honestly, compared to the other Animal Crossing games, this was a super big upgrade designing wise. Maybe the thing I loved the most in Happy Home Designer was the addition to decorate public buildings. A few days in, Isabelle shows up and asks you to design a school. And after that you unlock all kinds of public buildings, like a hospital, a cafe, different shops, and later on even a concert hall, restaurant and hotel. This just has to be my favorite part of the whole game, because public buildings give you way more space to work with, and in general more freedom than villager houses. With the villagers' houses, it doesn't really matter what you do. They are going to be happy no matter how ugly the house looks. But the public buildings felt just a bit different and more meaningful. Even though you also could make these really ugly, by the way. But maybe even the best thing about the public buildings was that villagers actually use them. They walk around inside and even have unique dialogue depending on the building and which job they have. Seeing the hospital or restaurant just filled with villagers made the town so alive, and was the only moment in this game where I actually thought my work really mattered. I think this game has a pretty good amount of public buildings already, but there were just some other public buildings I really would have liked to see. For example, I really wanted to see a police station and a fire station, but I mainly just would have loved to see a museum with letters in Celeste. That would have been so cool. Every time I finished a new building, the town felt a little bigger, and little by little you could see the town getting livelier, and I think that is what made the public buildings so special to me. Animal Crossing Happy Home Designer is a really special but also strange Animal Crossing game, because it is just so different from the main series games. If you compare Happy Home Designer to New Leaf, almost all of the usual goals are gone. There's no loan to pay off, no actual town to improve, and nothing to really maintain. In the other Animal Crossing games, decorating is just one small part of the game, but in Happy Home Designer it's the entire game. And while that makes the designing way more detailed and improved, it also means the game can start to feel repetitive after a while. But the only game I can really compare it to is the Happy Home Paradise DLC in New Horizons. Although I was really excited to see a sort of sequel to Happy Home Designer, I've actually not really played it as much as I would have liked. Mostly because New Horizons just doesn't hit the same for me after the pandemic. But from what I have played, it improves on almost every aspect. The progression is better, the tools are better, and things like partition walls finally let you divide rooms. But the biggest improvement is that Happy Home Paradise is connected to your main island. You unlock features that let you redesign your own villagers' houses, which gives the whole thing a real purpose. And I think that is the thing I missed in Happy Home Designer. Just a purpose why you need to decorate. It could have been really cool if you could connect with your New Leaf save, for example, and then that you could redesign your villagers' houses in New Leaf. But sadly, I didn't really have a purpose to decorate. After replaying Happy Home Designer, I realized that this game is way more important to the series than I initially thought, and that for a rather small game. Sure, it is a spin-off game and not a traditional Animal Crossing game, but it legit took decorating, which was always just a rather small part of the traditional Animal Crossing games, to a whole new level. Placing and rotating furniture has never been easier in the series, and this game also was kind of an introduction to placing furniture outside. We've got, as I previously mentioned, public projects in New Leaf, but in none of the other games we got the freedom to place anything besides public projects outside, which became a really big thing in Animal Crossing New Horizons, and for sure will be one of the focus points in the upcoming Animal Crossing games. But it formerly was just a great concept that they explored even further with the Happy Home Paradise DLC, which expanded on this game. It may get really repetitive after hours of designing, but there's just a cozy, relaxing charm to it. I still believe this game is quite underrated because legit almost nobody talks about this game. What really made Happy Home Designer special besides the designing portion of this game was just how it made the town feel alive. In the older Animal Crossing games, villagers had more bold and memorable dialogue. But in the more recent games, the dialogue is just not it. It is really bland and not really that personal. This was also kind of the case for the 3DS era of the Animal Crossing series. But in Happy Home Designer, just seeing the villagers use the public buildings and just seeing villagers walk around in these public buildings I designed and just interacting with the furniture and other villagers, it felt way more alive. At the end of the day, Happy Home Designer might not be the best Animal Crossing game and can compete with the mainline games because of the lack of different features, but it gave something just as important. Way more freedom and just experimenting with different furniture. It was cozy, it was relaxing, and in my opinion, it is one of the most underrated gems in the Animal Crossing series. Well, that was my look back at Animal Crossing Happy Home Designer. I still think, besides all its weaknesses, that it is a great idea for an Animal Crossing spin-off game that they mastered in the Animal Crossing Happy Home Paradise DLC. After replaying the game from the beginning to the end, I quite liked the game. Of course, it was becoming quite boring quite fast, but if you design 3 houses or 2 public buildings at maximum, it is a lot more enjoyable. When this video is finally released, the new Animal Crossing New Horizons update will be out, which I'm really eager about, so let's hope it will be good. Thank you so much for watching this video all the way through the end. If you like this video, please like the video and subscribe to the channel, and hopefully till the next time. Goodbye!